Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me for another session of Cultural Compass, Navigating Your Global Classroom with me, Dr. Emma Howes. As always, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to the Cambridge Insider YouTube channel so that you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Today, I'll dive into an important theory for educators who are working with international students who are learning English as their second or maybe even third language. This topic is how students acquire language and what you as a teacher can do to support them in your classroom, even if you're working within a set curriculum or might not be formally trained as an ESL teacher. To do this, we're going to look specifically at Stephen Krashen's theory of language acquisition. For those who might not be familiar, Cambridge Network offers academic support for international students through St. Mary's Online Academy. This includes tutoring, prerequisites or credit recovery courses, or even full AP courses for students who want to get ahead or take a course over a break. Since these courses were created specifically for international students and English language learners, this is one of the key theories that our curriculum is based on and that our teachers implement when conducting these courses. So we know how important this concept is when ensuring our students' success. Krashen's theory is made up of 5 key hypotheses. I'll break these down so we can see how you can apply them in practical and low-effort ways, and so we can see how they connect with what might be happening in your classroom. The first is the acquisition learning hypothesis. In this, Krashen distinguishes between acquiring language naturally through more meaningful interactions like informal, real-life scenarios versus learning language in a structured and formal setting. So like in a classroom, through memorization, for quizzes. We tend to see new international students struggle because their experience and exposure to English has been more learned. So in a classroom in their home country, more than acquired or through these real life situations. Next is the monitor hypothesis. As students gain more and more learned knowledge, they will start to hear or see their own errors and can use it to self-correct. However, if they start to over-monitor or hyper-focus on errors, this will slow not only their communication, but further acquisition as well. So students who are overly concerned with grammar might hesitate to speak at all as they become very nervous about making mistakes. The third hypothesis is the input hypothesis. This states that students best acquire language when they are exposed to a comprehensible input, so content that is slightly above their current level. The difficulty with this is that typically with how we teach in English as our native language, and just how the nature of high-level and really technical courses can be, the level may be 2 or 3 above their current comprehension. If students are constantly overwhelmed by really complex language, they might struggle to engage. The next hypothesis is the affective filter hypothesis. So this basically says that emotional barriers like anxiety or a lack of confidence can actually block language acquisition. Many international students experience this if they are afraid of judgment from their classmates or even their teacher. And this is very similar to those topics of culture shock and acculturative stress that we've discussed in earlier videos. Those experiences can really impact every aspect of an international student's daily activities and experience, including their academic performance. The fifth and final hypothesis is the natural order hypothesis. This basically says that language acquisition follows a predictable pattern, and that forcing students to master really complex ideas or structures of a language too soon may not be effective. Again, this can be really difficult to address when students are enrolled in really high-level academic courses with native English speakers and teachers that have really technical jargon. Now that we have a basic understanding of Krashen's theory, we can talk about ways to acknowledge these concepts or things that you can do in your classroom if you do have students who are speaking English as a second language without changing your entire curriculum. One strategy is to provide comprehensible input. So this can include simplifying the language slightly without dumbing it down. Again, just acknowledging that there are English as second language learners in your classroom. This can be using synonyms or rephrasing really complex ideas. You can encourage peer support and pair international students with supportive classmates for different activities or projects. And you can ensure that you have visual options for higher level concepts or terminology. There are several other effective strategies that can support these hypotheses, and the great thing is they can be applied to almost any subject area. The first strategy would be to encourage low-stakes speaking opportunities. Instead of putting students on the spot or waiting for them to participate themselves, you can offer structured, low-pressured activities such as think, pair, share. This gives them multiple ways to respond, whether that's speaking, through writing, or using technology, so they can engage in a way that feels comfortable. And when they do speak, instead of constantly correcting any grammatical mistakes, you can model the correct language naturally in your own responses. Next, it's important to focus on meaningful connection. You can encourage authentic discussions where students are using language for a real purpose. Group work is great for this, especially when the work is focusing on collaboration and real-world application, again, really in any subject. Finally, a really helpful approach would be to use multimodal teaching methods. This can be storytelling, music, videos, interactive activities that all can reinforce that natural language acquisition. Whenever possible, you can try incorporating students' first languages even briefly to support comprehension. So to wrap up, Krashen's theory of language acquisition really gives us a powerful framework for understanding why some of our students struggle and how we can better support them. I hope you take away the ideas that language acquisition happens best when students feel really comfortable and engaged, that providing comprehensible input and encouraging communication make a really big difference, and finally, that the small and intentional changes in your classroom approach could really have a big impact on international student success. All of that being said, we also recognize that providing such individualized support in an accelerated course with complex subject matter in a classroom full of other students can be really difficult. So if your students need more academic support than what can be offered in the classroom, Cambridge Network does provide these specialized academic services tailored to international students through St. Mary's Online Academy. So if you do have students that you think would benefit, please reach out to the contact info listed in this video's description, and we'd love to discuss further and share what options we can offer. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, subscribe to the Cambridge Insider YouTube channel, and to share with your fellow teachers. As always, feel free to drop any questions in the comments or reach out via email.